Welcome to Marketing 100. My name is Neil Mayers. I'm going to be the instructor for your course this fall. The first thing I want everybody to do to be prepared for the course is go into the course, go to the discussion board, and under the Let's Introduce Ourselves tab, you're going to see some information I'd like you to all post about yourselves and why you're taking the course, in addition to providing a picture, and it's going to give you some quick instructions how to upload it. All of my information is available under the Faculty Information tab on Blackboard, but I'd love everybody to introduce themselves first and foremost to your fellow classmates before we go any further. Our goal for the class is we're going to demystify marketing for you. Everybody is involved with marketing. If you've ever worked in hospitality, if you've ever raised money for a cause, if you've ever participated or voted in an election, you've participated in the marketing process. Our goal is to demystify this for you and make you want to learn more about it. A couple of housekeeping things up front. My office, just so everybody knows, is located at the Daniels Technology Center in Culpeper in the Annex Room 7. That's my number there. I don't use that number very often, though. The best way to reach me is through email. Email is on my smartphone. I check it multiple times every day. My office hours are listed below. I have classes, I would point out to everyone, Monday and Tuesday over on the other side of the region. So I will be in Stafford every other Monday, and I am in Fredericksburg every Tuesday. So anybody that needs me and would rather meet with me in one of those two places, send me an email and we'll make sure that we set up some time to do so. Now, let me talk briefly about my background. In addition to having an MBA in Marketing and Finance from the University of Rochester, I also had 30 years of practical business experience, starting with right out of school, working the craft as a brand manager. I can tell you that was like extending my education. It was a magnificent foundation. I got to be the chief marketing officer, or the chief executive officer in many ways for my brands that I worked on. Truly a wonderful experience. Got to do a lot of different things in that role. And between that and at Cadbury Schweppes, spent 7 years there in a variety of sales and marketing positions. My last year or two there, I was actually the marketing manager for Cadbury Beverages in Canada. During my career, I've had a chance to develop advertising. I've managed call centers. I've redesigned packaging. I've done radio advertising. Been very fortunate to have had a very broad variety of experiences that I've had a chance to participate in. Lastly, the 5 years before I started Solutions Recruiting, which I've been doing for the past 16 years, an executive search firm, I was a vice president of sales and marketing for a $300 million industrial services company based in Culpeper. So I bring to this a lot of good experience I think that will help you. Now, the course is really broken into 4 primary sections. The first, kind of initiating the marketing process, we're going to talk about developing marketing plans and the environmental forces that go into developing that plan. Think about an environmental force. How much control do you have over the weather? Well, not much, or you really have none. But the best you can do is bring an umbrella. Environmental forces are like that. There are things that a marketer has to be aware of going on around them. So we're going to start with the first part, initiating the process. We'll talk about buyers and markets and really focus a lot on consumer behavior, what makes consumers tick and what drives the decision-making process. Part 3 is then targeting and segmenting that market and doing research and segmentation, and finishing up the last few chapters talking about new products, channels, and communication tools. We're going to get into advertising, social media, and things like that towards the end. So really the course is going to be broken into 4 sections. Now, where things are in Blackboard, everything that you are going to need in Blackboard is really going to be found in the weekly homework module section, the weekly modules section. That's everything you need, and it's going to be in there. You're going to be able to tie it to the syllabus for each week based on what module it says. So it's going to be listed by modules. You can look in the syllabus as to which modules there. First week, of course, we're doing module 1, so you'll see it on there. Now, it's going to include really 4 things, and I'll get into that in a second. It's going to tell you what else is in there. In addition, what's going to be on Blackboard, which will be very important, are things like the syllabus, which is just above the weekly modules. There's a tab on there called Presentation Help. We're all going to be participating with PowerPoint or Google Slides presentations. It's critically important for business. There's a tab on there designed to give you help at doing that if you need it. And it's everything from tips on PowerPoint to actual video tutorials if you're not sure how to use the system. So there's also faculty info and faculty infos on there, as well as Blackboard help for anybody that needs some tips. Now, every week, you're going to go in, you're going to see what modules we're working on that week based on the syllabus, and then you're going to find, in these weekly modules, you're going to find 4 things. The first one is going to tell you what reading you need to do there. Second thing, there is going to be a discussion board topic. Typically, we're going to watch a couple of videos. We're going to then have to address a question. You're going to make a 150-word post on the Blackboard. And in addition to that, to get full credit, you will also be responsible for replying to at least 2 classmates with a 25-plus word response. I would tell you that you don't need to go in the discussion board tab on Blackboard. You can get to the discussion board and what you have to post right from weekly modules. So where that second arrow is on the page in front of you, that's how you would get to the discussion board. You don't have to go through the other section. Thirdly, if you see down below, and the screen's not quite big enough to show it, but there's also going to be, in many weeks, you're going to have 2 items on there. You're going to have a presentation as well that you're going to need to do. Typically, those presentations are 4 to 6 pages in length. There will be information on that. And below, don't have room on the screen there to show it, but below there's a quiz. So everything you're going to need for that week, in addition to sometimes there might be some other support materials on there, is going to be under that weekly module. So that's where you're going to spend. Important note, everything is due Sunday night at midnight. So starting by next Monday the 4th, all the assignments due, the quizzes, the homework is all due Sunday night at midnight before the next week starts. Now, the textbook is Marketing the Core from Karen's 7th edition. We just started a new edition. There's lots of different options. The bookstore has hard copy. The bookstore has a loose leaf version. If you prefer an ebook, that's fine. I will tell you that I do not care where you get the book. If you can get it to the bookstore, many of you that are on financial aid will need to go through the bookstore. That's fine. If you can get it in another location, I don't care. It's entirely up to you. I know there are many other places you can get it less expensive. If it's rented, that's fine. If it's you borrow it from a friend, that's fine. If you get it from somebody off a truck, that's fine. It doesn't make any difference to me. But I'm going to point out that the quizzes and tests are open book, so it's a little hard to take advantage of that if you don't have the book. Now, how I do grading. First of all, quizzes every week, actually not every week, but you're going to have a total of 10 quizzes. They're going to be 20% of your grade. There's going to be 10 of them worth 20 points each. The homework in total will be worth 40% of your grade. I'm going to say that again. The homework is worth 40% of your grade. Don't wait to do it. Presentations are worth 10, so you'll have 10 presentations to do worth 20 points each. And you'll have 10 discussion boards to do worth 20 points each. And then there's a final exam at the end of the quarter worth 20%. And lastly, there will be a final project, which is now available on there, but I'll wait to talk more about it till a couple weeks into the semester. That will be worth another 20% as well. The grade center, as you go through it, is going to be out of 1,000 points, so it's going to be easy to see where you are. Obviously, 900 and above is an A, 800 to 899 is a B, etc. The PowerPoint presentations, as I mentioned earlier, I'm looking for probably about 4 to 6 pages each, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Remember that a typical PowerPoint page is going to have about 50 words, so 25 to 50 words on it. This is not an essay. I'm really looking, the assumption would be that you'd be presenting this to somebody, but it's going to help you a lot to be in business, to be able to use PowerPoint or Google Slides or a tool like that. Reminder, there is a tab for those that want help or tips on PowerPoint presentations on our Blackboard shell for you. Talked about the discussion board, 150 words each. Now, what to expect from me? I'm going to give you the results from a survey done a couple years ago. I will tell you that this is pretty standard. I get the same basic results every semester that this is done. First of all, this class that I picked had 83% participation. The school average is about 60. Generally speaking, my classes will participate almost in their entirety in surveys. And when I ask people in my classes how much time they have to put in, 12 out of 15 that took the survey said a lot or a huge amount. On the other hand, if they asked people how much they learned, 15 out of 15 said a lot or a huge amount, and 15 out of 15 said that they were treated fairly and consistently during the course of the semester. Obviously got a good, excellent or good overall grade. What to take away from this, you're going to put a lot into this course, but hopefully you're going to see by the end that you're going to get a lot out of it. With that said, go take a look at the discussion board, enter your information in a photo. If you have any questions, let me know. One last thing that I will point out to you is that over the course of the semester, when you do your homework, I will be posting good examples or examples of outstanding work every once in a while on there for everybody to see. So hopefully everybody get a chance to shine. Good luck, and I look forward to working with you over the next semester.